We still have some examples, but we are degraded like no other. I mean, just to give you a quick, we have less than 10% of our wetlands, within the state. I mean, the wetland component, people think we live in a desert. Why do we have cities called Fountain Valley, Artesia, Santa Fe Springs? Because we didn't live in a desert, but all our water was underground in all these aquifers. Because our Creator knew we have a lot of sun. Evaporation would take it out. But when you store it in aquifers, it comes up in these fresh bubbling springs. It comes up in side hill seeps. It comes out in, all these areas. On these trails, on this map,
natural springs.
You did not have to go but a mile to reach water. That's why if Portola would have followed they would have never run out of water, because that's how the trails were set up, is so that you always had available water sources. And so with this, that reality of the gifts we were given, it's highly reduced. However, we still have them, and by us supporting these new gifts, the flavors that we'll get. So, such as, real quick, soap plant. Soap plant is Chloroflagellum. I forgot the epithet of that. But anyway, it's one of our main compounds that we would use. Probably out of the gifts that were given to them was soap plant, because that you can actually make soap. The process of soap is called saponification. This soap plant, saponins, I want you to write this down, recognize it, because a lot of our root plants have saponins. What saponins? Science is finding out about saponins. Saponin, saponin, however you want it, tomato, tomato, pronounce it however you want. These saponins, they are found to actually be able to find cancer cells in our body. This is what science is now reporting, because saponins have a natural affinity towards cholesterol binding proteins. So, okay, check it out. Cancer cells on their membrane have a high concentration of cholesterol binding proteins. So therefore, through natural affinity, this saponin is going to find that cell. Now, it's not looking for cancer cells. What it's looking for is abnormality in a normal environment. That's what they're all doing. That's why it helps with inflammation. That's its main purpose. It's looking for this abnormality. Cancer is an abnormality. It's a miscommunication of our cells. So in that scenario, it's not a virus, it's not a bacteria, it's our cells. That's why it's so hard to kill. But these compounds within our plants are meant to know what our cellular system should look like, and they are able to identify these abnormalities. Then they go in and they're able to freeze it. Check it out here. I like mechanisms. I'm the biologist, so I like to know why does it. My uncle tells me this is what works, use this plant. Why use this plant? Why this plant, not this plant? That's where my brain goes. So these are the explanations that I found out. The mechanism for, I'm sorry I'm getting so excited, but you're getting into the conversation I love talking about, which is science. The mechanism, how it works within our cells, I'm going to put this down real quick. Within our cells, we have a cytoskeleton made up of microtubules. This cytoskeleton, in order for it to make more through mitosis, it has to break. What the saponins do, they actually stabilize the microtubules. So therefore, when you have cancer, the main thing is it's making tumors. It's going boom, boom, boom. This is now stabilizing. So now it's identified it, abnormal. Now it says, okay, slow down. Then our plants are able to now program that cell. If it's abnormal, it can't be fixed, because we have repair mechanisms set up like left and right within our immunity. That's the purpose. We're supposed to repair. That's why we need to sleep. That's why we need to do all this stuff. If it can't be repaired, then these plants have the power of apoptosis, which is cell death, programmed cell death. Our cells just won't die. They have to actually be programmed and shut down, just like our computers. So with that, these compounds actually have that capability. So within, not only do we have food out there, but we have all the medicines for our future ailments. Look at all these bacteria that now become resistant to our medicines. We are not even looking in I'm working with a professor, or actually I'm reaching out to a professor at UCI who is doing cancer research on plants in Brazil. When outside his door, probably about 500 feet, lives Plukia odorata, which has already been identified to have these compounds that I'm talking to you about. Why is he searching in Brazil when outside his house is right there? Is plants that will do these things and already been recognized by science to do them. Anyway, this is the reality we all got to come to, is that the knowledge that the natives had when Portola came here, it's still here. And we need to now, our generation, start grasping onto that knowledge and saying, hey, because here's one of our rules. When we make decisions, this is what our chief tells us, Andy's dad. If you make a decision for us, you have a 7th generation concept to that. Meaning, your decision has to be beneficial, or it can affect 7 generations after you. So if you're going to make a decision that's affecting all of it, if you make a decision that affects just you, do whatever you want. But if it's affecting all of us, you got to plan. You got to take that serious. And that's the reality that we all got to consider, because our resources, like you said, we don't have them as much anymore. And are we just going to give them all up, or are we going to try and rebound?
Oh, thank you.